Hello and welcome to the very special edition of Guftagoo. Today our guest is ace filmmaker Adoor Gopalakrishnan.
Adoor Gopalakrishnan is an Indian film director, scriptwriter and producer in revolutionizing Malayalam cinema and is regarded as one of the greatest filmmakers of India. Adoor's first film, Swayamvaram, pioneered the new wave cinema movement in Kerala. Most of his films go to festivals around the world and are released in Kerala. All the 11 films he directed, from Swayamvaram to Oru Pennam Randanam, were screened at several international film festivals and won him several national and international awards.
ഒന്ന് കണ്ണു തുറക്കൂ കണ്ണു തുറക്കൂ
He won National Film Awards 16 times, Kerala State Film Awards 17 times, and also won several international film awards. He won the prestigious British Film Institute Award for Elipathayam. Adoor received the Padma Shri in 1984 and Padma Vibhushan in 2006.
അതിനാല് വേണ്ടാതീനം വല്ലതും പറഞ്ഞോ?
വേണ്ടാതീനം അല്ലാണ്ട് പിന്നെ എന്തോന്നാ? അയാള് പറയുന്ന കേട്ടില്ലേ, നമുക്ക് ഒരുമിച്ച് കഴിയാമെന്ന്.
അതിപ്പോ അങ്ങനെയല്ലേ വേണ്ടത്? വേലയിൽ ജീവിക്കുന്ന ആണപ്പുറന്ന ഒരുത്തൻ ഒരുമിച്ച് കഴിയാന്ന് പറഞ്ഞതാ നിനക്കിപ്പോ കുറ്റം?
ഓ വെറുതെയാ ചേച്ചി, ഇതുപോലെ ഓരോന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് അടുത്തു കൂടുന്നവരെ സൂക്ഷിക്കണം.
The nation honored Adoor for his valuable contributions to Indian cinema by awarding him the highest cinema award of India, Dada Saheb Phalke Award for the year 2004.
Welcome to the show, sir. Adoor ji, tell us something about your first brush with filmmaking.
Actually, I passed out of the Film Institute in 1965, and it took me a long time to make my first feature film, 7 years. So I completed my first film in 1972.
And how difficult it was to make a film 40 years back for a parallel filmmaker like you?
The situation was very bad even at that time, because you had to have this formula, or the commercial formula in your films, very strictly adhered to. And when the first film was first released, in fact when the first film was first completed, there were no takers, there was no distributor coming forward. In the beginning itself there was no producer coming forward to finance the film. So the film was made with a loan from the Film Finance Corporation of that time.
എന്റെ ഒരു മനപ്രയാസം കൊണ്ടാ കുഞ്ഞെ ഞാൻ ഈ പറയണത്. നീ എന്റെ വീട്ടിൽ പോര. ഉള്ളത് കൊണ്ട് നിനക്കും കൂടെ കഴിയാം.
ഇല്ല, ഞാൻ വരുന്നില്ല.
It was made at a budget of 2.5 lakhs. So this was a cooperative that myself and my friends had established there back in Kerala after passing out of the institute. And we had made some documentaries and made some little money, extra money from this making of these documentaries, and we invested on our own something like 1 lakh. And 1,50,000 was a loan taken from the NFDC. So once we completed the film, there was no distributor coming forward. So the situation was so bad that we had to distribute the film ourselves. And when the film was distributed in 1 week's time, because it was not a run-of-the-mill kind of film, it was completely different from what they were used to watching. So it did not run in most of the cinemas for more than 1 week. So everybody said the film has been flop. So what happened in the next coming 3-4 years time, the film went on to win the national award for the best film, best director, best actress, best cameraman, etc. So that made big news in those days in 1972. And then since we were distributing the film ourselves, again we re-released the film after this publicity, with that free publicity that we got from the awards. And this time everybody interested in watching it came. So the theatres were filled, and then in 2-3 weeks time we got back our investment. So that was a very good thing to happen.
And your comment on the evolution of filmmaking till date?
In fact, when you look at the situation today, about 30 years later, no, 40 years later, it is not any better. In fact, it has become worse. Today, a national award winner and a lot of news item in the newspapers and in the media does not make any sense. In fact, it gives the audiences, general audiences, a feeling that this is a film that they should avoid, because an award-winning film is bereft of any entertainment. That's what they think. Entertainment for the general audiences is singing, dancing, and all the spectacles, fights, all that, and the stars, and those things. There is a formula. There is a not a well-defined formula, but then it's a formula all the same. That they already know about a particular mode of cinema which they go to see, and the moment they doubt that they are not going to get the same kind of fare from this film, they don't turn up to see it. So that's the situation today. So it has become much worse. To start with, in the beginning, people had this eagerness to know why a film has been awarded the national best and several other awards. So that kind of curiosity is no more there. This has been a tragedy.
Adoorji, do you believe that today's cinema and television cater to the common minimum denominator?
Things have become more difficult, in fact, not because of the technology, in spite of the technology being accessible. And also the expectations of the people, it has gone down, because with the television having become very popular, and the television showing the serials and sitcoms and things like that, they are of very low standard, because they have to keep the audiences engaged for half an hour every evening, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, like that. So this unending series of serials, they have brought down the level of the audience expectations down. This is very unfortunate thing that happened. In fact, with the development of the technology, with the visual medium becoming accessible to people, they should have asked for more. That's what we would have naturally expected, because an audience which is tuned to the visual language should ask for more. That's what you would normally expect. In fact, what happened was just the opposite. They got settled with the commonplace and what is below average, what you can in fact term banal. This has been very unfortunate. This is what happened.
Then what are the future cinematic possibilities?
The possibilities are there, that you have this accessibility to the medium of the digital medium. You can really if you want to make a film, you can make a film, but then where is the possibility of taking it to the audiences? There is no possibility. Because if it is an austere film, there is no chance of an audience coming to see it. So that is the real problem. It is not necessarily the complex technology which is stopping the audiences or the filmmaker from doing it, but it is the whole system which is geared to only a particular kind of cinema only. This is the problem.
Don't you think the space of parallel cinema of yours is shrinking fast? How do you react?
In fact, see, there are individual efforts. There are few individuals who come up from time to time who do not want to make compromises, who have the conviction in what they are doing, no matter that these films don't reach the audience. Sometimes they don't even reach the international audience. But all the same, they have the strong conviction in what they do, and they have the artistic integrity not to compromise. So here and there, all over the country, you find in one corner or the other some people who are trying to do this, and they are lucky if they can strike an interest internationally. Then they will be appreciated, promoted, supported, and all that by this international audience. There is a possibility, but this is a very distant possibility, because everybody does not reach that stage. And in fact, unless there is an audience at home, it's very difficult for a filmmaker to carry on. It's very important that you have a very faithful audience at home, because that is your base.
The films are no more harbinger of social change these days. What could be the reason?
No, that depends. See, some people want to change the society with their films. They think that they can bring in social reforms with the medium being used for the purpose. There can be films purely on aesthetic themes. You need not necessarily try to change an audience directly. I personally don't believe that any filmmaker can change the world or a society by making his films.
ചോറൊന്നും ആയില്ലയോ?
ശങ്കരൻകുട്ടി പേടിക്കണ്ട, കറിക്കറിയുന്ന വൈകുന്നേരത്തേക്കാ. എന്താ വിശപ്പായോ?
വിശപ്പായോന്ന് ചോദിച്ചാ
എന്നാ കഴിച്ചു വാ. എന്നും ഇങ്ങനെ ഒറ്റയ്ക്ക് കഴിഞ്ഞാ മതിയോ ശങ്കരൻകുട്ടി? ഗോപി വന്നല്ലോ. പോയി കൈ കഴുകിട്ട് വാ.
ഗോവിന്ദൻ അത്ര താമസിച്ചേ?
ചോറല്ലയോ വിളമ്പുന്നേ, അതിനു മുമ്പ് ചെറുക്കന്റെ ഒരു വെപ്രാളം.
There are people who you use it as a tool, to discuss a social theme, some social inequalities and social injustices, things like that. But what, like any other art form, what cinema can do is to make the audience aware of a situation.
It's time for a small break. Please don't go away. Keep watching Guftagoo.
I don't believe in these jargons about shining India or economy becoming strong and things like that. I feel happy when I hear India is doing well. But then, India, are we doing that well? Is everybody getting the opportunities? There is the levels of living and the standard of living, is it the same for the people? So there is a lot of differences.
Welcome back. We are with Adoor Gopalakrishnan. So your cinematic journey till now remain unblemished. How do you sustain this strong conviction over the years?
That's a very personal, it's a very highly individualistic issue. It's absolutely subjective in its character, because you cannot generalize it. In fact, it's very personal. So it depends on your personal integrity, your artistic integrity. So if you have a certain conviction in what you are doing, you are not looking for immediate acceptability. You are not looking for immediate success. You can be rejected, in fact, in spite of all your the quality of your work. You can be outright rejected. But even that should not deter you from doing what you believe in.
Would you like to share any specific incident or moment when you felt dejected or demoralized?
Not really, not entirely. I have had no reason to complain against my audiences. I always had a faithful audience following my films, appreciating my work, understanding it.
ನನ್ನ ಮಗ ಕೂನೂರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿದ್ದು ಸಾಕು, ಇನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೂ ದಿನ ಹೋಗಿ ಬರೋ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಗೆ ಸೇರ್ಸೋಣ.
ಹಾಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವನ ಭವಿಷ್ಯ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ಬೇಡ್ವೆ? ಪುಟ್ಟ ಎಲ್ಲ ರಜೆಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದಾನಲ್ಲ.
ಬೂಟು ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಬಿಚ್ಚಿ ಸ್ನಾನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಾ ಪುಟ್ಟ, ಹೋಗು. ಅವನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿಸೋ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯೋಚಿಸೋದೇ ಬೇಡ. ದೂರ ಎಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೂ ಓದ್ಲಿ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾಣದೆ ಕೇಳದೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಬೆಳಿಲಿ.
ಸರೋಜಾ, ನೀನಾದ್ರೂ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೇಳ್ಬಾರ್ದೆ? ಕಾಲ ಬದಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಇನ್ನೂ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಹಾಗೆ ಬದುಕಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ
ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಸಾಕಾಯ್ತು ನನಗೆ. ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳೋರಲ್ಲ.
So I have absolutely no complaint about them, and I am very pleased that it continues to be so. It is not something in the past tense. It continues to be.
Sir, it's 4 decades now. What inspires you to continue this quest?
You have a number of people, following your work, appreciating it, understanding it, admiring it. This goes on. This process goes on, because as a filmmaker, as an artist, my quest is a continuing one. It is not just a question of telling stories. Story is just a device I use to keep my audience interested in what I am saying. Basically, I am trying to make my audience experience many things at the same time, at different levels. That's it. So depending on your level of understanding, you follow the work. It addresses the audiences alike, but then at the same time, depending on their experience of life, depending on their analytical faculties and their sensitivity, it can mean different things for different audiences. So that is so.
Does the changing modes and dynamism of the society impact your approach and style of work?
Actually, the world is no doubt changing. People's attitude to things, they are changing. So you cannot remain unchanged. You are also in a very strange way, you are also undergoing some change. So it has to be a give and take. You give something to the audience, you also take something from the audience. So that is very important, because when you make a film, there are people coming and seeing it, and then the way they respond to it is very important for the filmmaker. Not to make compromises, but to understand how it is responded to. It's very important. So there is a constant process of give and take in this. And you have lived through several years, and then you have gone through several experiences. All this should mold your attitude. It should in fact refine you more and more as you progress. That process, I think, is on.
As an Indian, how do you react to the present scenario? Does these realities reflect in your films?
No, actually, I don't believe in these jargons about shining India or economy becoming strong and things like that. I feel happy when I hear India is doing well. But then, India, are we doing that well? Is everybody getting the opportunities? There is the levels of living and the standard of living, is it the same for the people? So there is a lot of differences. But my films are not about I am not directly addressing these inequalities. So, but it creates a certain awareness in the minds of the people. It sensitizes an audience who are sensitive to these things. It's very important. So when you look at the predicament of a family, of a person, of a situation, then you learn more about that society through those individuals. It is always related to the larger society outside, even when you don't see them, they are there. So through the individuals, you are looking at the society as like the drop of the dew, in the morning, on a blade, on the edge of a blade, you see a drop of dew, and then it reflects the sky, it reflects the environment. So the same way, in the individual, the larger society, the society all around them, it is reflected in the individual's behavior, in their interactions. That's what I do.
Sir, do you search for personal liberation through your films?
Basically, I am sharing an experience with my audience. So I'm happy if the audiences share it with me. I'm not trying to share an experience which is not worthwhile for my audience to share. It's very important because I relish that experience, the artistic experience, and when my audiences share with me, I find the fulfillment in it. So it's very important that you share your experience, but then the experience that you are sharing should be very worthwhile. It should be worthy of enjoyment, worthy of sharing. It's very important. That's what I do.
You must be. Sir, what are you doing these days?
I'm writing now. I'm writing a script. Writing a script. Yes.
That was Adoor Gopalakrishnan. You can send us your suggestions on feedback.rstv@gmail.com. Till then, goodbye.